The World Peace Dome at Loni was the venue for the 4th National Conference on Media and Journalism on Peace Dialogue and Inclusivity, organized by MIT World Peace University through the School of Media and Communication. Media to Media Challenges Before Vernacular Legacy Media was the topic of one of the plenary sessions. Besides ex-MP and former journalist Sri Rahulu Anand Bhaskar, the panelists included Sri Yogesh Joshi, Bureau Chief Hindustan Times Pune, Ms. Prachi Kulkarni, Bureau Chief Sam Television Pune, and Sri Samrat Fadnis, Editor Sakal Media Group Pune. The topic for discussion was the changing Mediascape, credibility, revenue, and technology. This session was moderated by Sri Dheeraj Singh, Director, MIT World Peace University's School of Media and Communication.
Prachi, I'd like to come to you next. As Samratji had mentioned, there was a sense of incredulity in the early 2000s that because the traditional journalists had been trained to get bites or get quotes from people. And here was a time where Advaniji himself was on Twitter and he was tweeting stuff. He was saying whatever was on his mind. And later, many more politicians and decision makers, policy makers also came and joined the microblogging platforms. So the whole, this 2 decades of the 21st century have been very important and defining, especially as journalism is concerned. As a TV bureau in a sort of regional setup, how has your journey been in understanding the new challenges that we are facing today in the world of media and journalism about credibility? How do we compete with these competing narratives of we are in a post-truth world and there are so many things that could be true and true from a different side or a different angle. How do we compete with such challenges?
I'll start with a change in technology first, and then I'll come to the credibility part. So, when I was a student, like many of them sitting here, one of a person from our college, he was attempting a record of climbing Singagarh multiple times in 24 hours, and we, as obviously being communication students, were deputed to cover that. At that time, it was I met a journalist who would come with a huge camera, and she had climbed all the way up Sinhagarh with that camera equipment, with her tripod and everything, to get it recorded and get the story done. When I started as a broadcast journalist, I was handling something called as a DV. I don't know if anybody of you has seen VCR tapes, video tapes that used to come earlier. So it was a smaller version of similar kind of tapes. We used to record the content, we used to come back to our office, select the path that we had to send across, and only after that, we used to send it through the machines, the setup that was there in the office, and there used to be a separate person handling this technology who was deputed just to get this transfer done through the lease lines and stuff. There were OB vans which were deputed, and the decision to send OB vans to cover a live event was taken very judiciously because of the expenses. Today we are in an era where we are even past, like we use live units to transmit the content that we are recording, but we are beyond that. The mobile phones that you carry in your hand, that is the only thing that you need to record any kind of content. We recently, Sakai Media launched a television channel called Gomantak in Goa. The only camera equipment that was purchased was for the studio, because the studio setup needed that kind of quality. Apart from that, every single journalist was given a gimbal, a tripod, mic, and a mobile phone in his hand. So technology has come a long way, and so and accordingly the challenges have also changed, because today anybody of you all can be a reporter. You can record a particular incident, send it across, or upload it on your own social media platform or your own YouTube channel, and then that is the competition that the television channels are dealing with right now. Of course, television has multiple other challenges that they have to deal with, but this is the competition. Like me being a reporter for a television channel and you recording an incident has equal value, and you might post it with your opinion, but I'm not allowed to post it with my opinion. I have to report what is happening. Many a times it happens that we get videos recorded by people, they send it across and they say, can you air this story? But how do we verify the authenticity of that particular video? We have to cross verify, we have to talk to multiple people, and then send it across and get the story done. Any individual recording any particular incidents and uploading it on the social media platform doesn't necessarily have to think about all these things. Like if you are uploading something on Twitter, it obviously Twitter comes with a lot of opinions of individuals. So verifying the facts is the biggest challenge that everybody is facing today. And like I said, we are competing with the YouTube channels, we are competing with the social media, we are competing with the digital platform. Like you guys said, television could have been, it was being said that television would kill the newspapers. Today it's said that news channels are going to be thing of passive because digital platforms are growing with a lot of speed. But that's where the convergence is happening. We are working with the print media, we working with television, we have a television channel, and we also have our digital platforms, and we have to file stories across these platforms. We have to work for these platforms and see to it that it reaches the maximum number of audience. I'll tell you a simple difference. You must have seen a story go viral, any kind of video go viral. What happens is, if that is being shared with the link of that particular website or web portal or that particular news channel, the news channel is going to get revenue from it. But then if that particular it's edited and the video is getting forwarded, it's of no use for that particular organization because they're not going to get a single penny. The only benefit that they're going to get is the popularity, the discussion that is happening around the video. Another thing, coming back to credibility, another thing that has changed is, when I was starting, I had no medium to question any particular journalist who was working in any media. Today, anybody can just pick up their phone and simply start questioning whatever has been posted. For instance, recently I posted something on my Facebook account, and I received a reply from a person I had no clue about, and he was saying that "लातों के भूत बातों से नहीं मानते." This is the kind of reply the journalists have to cater to. This is the kind of questions that the journalists have to cater to, and we cannot choose to ignore such things because that's uh, it's the right of that particular person to question your story. But this is the kind of language that journalists have to deal with. Yogesh and Samrat sir mentioned television journalists. These television journalists in today's era are being questioned about their ideologies. They are being their stories are being put into ideologies and perceived that way, and like you are reporting in a particular manner because you belong to that particular ideology. That is how the content is changing, and even if the journalists are trying their best to put forth the stories in an unbiased manner, this is going to be a challenge for us. And I think that's where though we try to be credible, it's going to be the social media and the changing scenario is going to change this equation in
Thank
future.
you. Thank you so much, Prachi. Problem is actually with the times that we are living in, where the polarization exists in society. So it is a automatic reflection of that, which is what we are seeing in the media when we say that a particular channel or an organization or a reporter or a journalist is slightly tilted towards the right or the other one is slightly tilted towards the left. It is the problem of the times, not so much of the media itself. How do you see this observation? Because there was a time when people began journalism with very high ideals, and it was quite close on the sort of heels of the independence movement, because newspapers had played a very important role in the independence movements, where a lot of freedom fighters were also journalists and producing their own newspapers. So that sort of seeped into the late 70s, 80s. But what we see today is a complete and total identification with a certain ideology that journalists are expected to have. If they have, it's all right. If they don't have, then also their credibility is called into question. So how do young journalists, or how do people entering the field deal with that sort of polarization?
Dheeraj as our friends have taken the discussion forward, let me take you back to the history of our communication. If we understand the civilizations, we understand through the pottery, we understand through the stone engravements, we understand from the findings that those are available at various excavated sites. If we come to the independence period, in South Africa, what Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi has made, in Mumbai and Pune, what Firoz Shah Mehta has made, what Gopal Krishna Gokhale has made, what Bal Gangadhar Tilakji made, what Ranade made, what Phuleji made, at latter part, after the arrival of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhiji as Mahatma Gandhi into India, what Mahatma Gandhi made, what Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose has made, what Dr. Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar made, they published. They published their own content through their own book, pamphlet, newspaper, journal, magazine. By that way, gradually media organizations have also grown. By the time of Mahatma Gandhi advent into Indian freedom struggle, there were newspapers, Times of India is there. And other media was gradually growing. Vernacular media was also growing. If we bring that scenario to the present day, this polarization part will have the proper answer. If the present day politician is not having the micro blogging facility, if he is not having a website, if he is not having a medium to channelize his communication of voice and visual presentation through YouTube channel, something is lacking on his side. It is being treated like that. So this polarization will automatically have the influence on the broader media. As Mr. Joshi has mentioned, Fadnavis has mentioned, Prachi has mentioned, media organizations, yes, to authenticate. In our own learning days, the hard copy, the print is the evidence. And Joshi has mentioned the withdrawal of a news from even the microblogging site. That is the way of the societal auditing that is occurring. The polarization will be naturally there, Dheeraj. At the same time, plugging in to bring it to the proper credible level will be also there. This will be ongoing thing, the way of conflict and the consideration.